Okay, everything seems to be looking pretty good. Don't think we've made any big errors. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 1 in a best of 7. This best of 7 is going to YouTube because it's important you know that whoever wins this best of 7 will be joining the big boys in the main event of Hidden Cup 3. March 19th through the 22nd, $50,000 in prize pool and hidden identities. The main event will be crazy, but certain players have had to fight a lot to get there. Dogao is definitely one of those players that is expected to go through. He's just that damn good. K4SVA, I don't think he has anything to lose here. I think he played well versus Nili in round 1. And he's also been in pretty good form in rated games. He actually got to the 14th seed in the qualifiers. So it's definitely someone that Dogao should take seriously. Dogao has gone for the Mayans. And then K4SVA has gone for Chinese. Now, this is a best of 7. So this is where what civilizations you choose and when becomes very interesting, because you can't reuse civilizations throughout the best of 7, okay? So that means if Dogao loses his Mayans, and there's a map where Mayans could be very good later on, he won't have them anymore. And that, of course, goes for K4SVA as well. I find it interesting he chose Chinese, though. Does anyone else find it interesting? If we do get to El Dorado at any point in this best of 7, which I believe was a K4SVA home map pick, Chinese are fantastic there, so he might be at a slight disadvantage. Okay. Everything's looking good. The map is looking pretty good for Dogao. He's pushed in a deer already. I love the golds. Stones could be awkward for him, but with a bit of walling, he'll be fine. What about K4SVA? K4SVA, it's not too bad either. It's interesting where the players are positioned. We always have Arabia for game 1. I feel like this hill is going to be hugely annoying to K4SVA, but the main gold's fine. Again, wall potential's there. And I think Chinese can certainly rival Mayans. It's always important to be able to wall. Players are very aggressive. That's huge. But I feel like it's more important that the Mayans wall, because the Mayans do not have the mobility of Chinese. They don't have stable units. Oh, it's K4SVA. Is he thinking about trying to block this villager and lame? Man, he was thinking about it for a second. It's not going to happen now. So guys, it's worth mentioning, there was a recent patch, and we are not playing on that recent patch. None of the games in this best of 7 will be on the recent patch. So a few things like villager blocking was a little bit more difficult on the patch we're using. So keep that in mind. Now, as for what we'll use for the main event, we have some decisions and announcements to come along with that. But just something to keep in the back of your mind. What's Dogao up to? He still hasn't found his sheep. I would say that it was quite a greedy start for him. He knows his boar is there. He pushed 2 deer. And to do that and sacrifice scouting info is, it's not something you see a lot of players in tournaments do. Like, they might push 1 deer, but I'm surprised he's being quite as greedy as he is. But he is going to find the sheep. K4SVA is just unfortunate not to be able to snag them. We will have co-casters. It's pretty much up to the players to confirm the time and what sets they want to co-cast with me. I know Daniel, who played in the qualifier, wants to co-cast. Hera and Leary expressed interest. Also, so did MBL. But I have to confirm that with them for this weekend and Monday. I did ask some other players who are in the main event. Like, I asked Viper. I really wanted to get Viper in here. Unfortunately, guys, I just don't think he has huge interest in doing so. Which I feel like, I don't know how much he's going to be watching, right? I feel as though these players who do co-cast with me, actually, they get some insight into the strategies and can kind of start thinking about how they might want to play the maps themselves. Alright, barracks now for Dogao. Is this a drush or is this man-at-arm play for him? It looks like it's going to be man-at-arm play. He's saying, well, hold on. It's almost like he wanted to wait. Okay, he still hasn't produced anything. And we'll be adding 1 more villager. Interesting. Alright, so he'll be up kind of late. And then K4SVA, he's going to be up now. He didn't push in any deer, guys. No deer whatsoever, and K4SVA's lacking a little bit of food because of that. Now he's on his way to feudal age. Oh, and he could kill Dogao's eagle! This is what happens, Dogao. When you're greedy, you can pay the price. Okay, that eagle's very weak, which, at the very least, does something for K4SVA. That's good. He could come back home and he could kill that now. It looks like he's going for a scout build. Though I do have some concerns over the amount he has on wood right now. Okay, he's sending some more to wood. He sees that Dogao is just passing. And Dogao is also on the way to Feudal Age in game 1. And he's going for Man-at-Arms. Alright. T90, first time live on stream. Love the YouTube content. Keep it up. Says Smoke Billow. Smoke Billow, welcome. Hey, Quinskink. Nice to see you out there. Is this a forward? You know, this is something that K4SVA could spot. This looks like a forward. I think that Dogao, not only does he see this as a huge weak point for K4SVA, and honestly it is. K4SVA is also choosing this wood line as well. But the berries are forward. The stone is forward. These golds are forward. There's not an awful lot that Chinese can do against Man-at-Arm Tower, actually, except weather the storm, because normally Chinese are going for scouts. And if you pick Chinese, you tell your opponent that's what you're going for, and they can make you pay, and Dogao will have a perfect tower spot right there on the berries. K4SVA needs a counter tower. Alright. Well, hold on a second. Dogao, he's not so sure he wants to tower there, and so K4SVA has not finished that tower. This is important. This is very important, and K4SVA is tracking the bills. Alright, he needs to delete that, and he needs to place a tower here. Let's see if Dogao goes for it again. Keep in mind, Dogao's not on stone, so I think Dogao will commit to this tower. And K4SVA will commit to his as well. Dogao completes Man-at-Arms. There is the stable for K4SVA. There's actually not going to be a huge rush from him to pump out scouts. It's more so about can he keep his villagers producing from his town center, because he just got hit on berries. Look at this, guys. A tower on the berries against someone going scouts is huge. He does not have the food to produce another villager. He's missing one food just because he's pushed off of berries there. And he wasn't able to push in any deer. So I'd say this is a strong start for Dogao. Keep an eye on the vill count. We'll see just how many resources K4SVA is going to have. Now K4SVA is on stone, so he can build more towers. It looks like he will wall here. It even looks like he's going to take out this tower and be able to breathe again. For Dogao, he's really good with Mesocivs. He's really good with Aztecs, Mayans. I haven't really seen the guy play Incas, but I'm sure he's good with Incas as well. And he might just choose to go home now. The players are pretty close. He built a house on this gold. He's building a house on this gold as well. This is because he wants his villagers to be able to do something. And also it blocks off those resources for later on. But now K4SVA, game 1, he has a stable. He wants to go scouts. He doesn't have the food to produce scouts and also produce villagers. And if you're in this situation, you should opt for villagers. But that means Dogao is going to be very, very happy with how this game has played out. He, of course, was untouched at home. He's starting to add some eagles, almost expecting some archers. Basil says, T90, is there community games today? If you count Hidden Cup 3 qualifier finals as community games, yes. If you're looking for Regicide Diplo games with people from the actual community, no. Not during the qualifiers, man. I know that some people prefer only community games. That's why I normally do it on Fridays. But guys, this is the biggest tournament in 20 years. it's a qualifier, but we'll have to make an exception this week. Maybe if K4SVA can get 3 or 4 scouts, he can get over to Dogao's base and do some damage, but expect a lot more of this, guys. Expect a lot more of this. With the players that are expected to go through in this event, expect games where it looks like the opponent is doing whatever they can, and they just can't get enough done. A nice pick off there from K4SVA. He actually gets the first kill of the game. And wow, K4SVA is actually... He needs to keep the stable up. He considered building a tower there to keep the stable up. But he is towering his stone. I actually like that tower on the stone. And I like the idea to counterattack too, because there's no way he can fight this right now. It's such an awkward position, because if you make an archer range, you're playing into eagles. Maybe what he does is he goes towards knights and Shukonu. If that stone's secured, maybe if his eco's good enough, he could go for that. Good micro from K4SVA. Okay, now he has 4 scouts. Time to counter Dogao. Dogao's on 2 barrack eagle production. So Dogao, for all his aggression, has not full walled his base behind this, which is it actually means his eco is going to be better off, because he has not spent villager time walling up. Wow, this is insane from both of them. K4SVA immediately realizes the eagles are here, Dogao immediately realized he needed quick walls, and he's already pre-quick walled his gold. Oh, he makes the gate! Okay, he gets an extra hit because of that. Style points. Guys, remember, Dogao told me that... Uh-oh, K4SVA. There we go. Dogao told me that he would be disappointed in himself if he didn't make it into the last 8 of the main event. This is a guy in the qualifier. Just want to give you an idea of how confident he is and how well he expects to perform. And he wants to get into the final 8 of the main event. He lost 3-2 to Leary in Hidden Cup 2 in a best of 5. Really close set there, which arguably he could have won. I think he should have won. He actually had 5 relics in that final game, for those that remember. So I think... Felix, are you around by chance? Overlay guy? I wonder if we can make an on-the-fly change to the scoreboard today. I see Matt's out there. So Robo, maybe Robo can contact him. What is K4SVA doing with his villager? So I think, is it confusing to anyone else that we have round of 16 on the scoreboard? Because it might make you guys think that this is not, like, it's not truly how this is set up. Whoever wins this best of 7 is in the main event. I don't think it should say round of 16 like that. Technically it is, I guess, with the way the things are formatted, but we'll see if we can change that. Or you can just listen to me speak. But I know that that's probably the worst option. Alright, nice pickoff from K4SVA. He wants a sneak villager back here. Shh, what is he doing? Guys, look at the castle times. K4SVA has done really well considering the circumstances. But what is this guy doing? Keep the scouts on the move, K4SVA. You need to keep Dogao in his base. Just 2 on stone for K4SVA, so he's definitely not going to be in a position to build a castle in the next stage. And he's going for 2 stable knights. He'll eventually clear this up, but it is annoying for him that he has to repair that blacksmith. Robo, good question. I think the scouts will make it out here. Okay, the scouts will make it out. I would say use your judgment on it. I think Hidden Cup qualifier final. It's confusing, right? Because normally there's 1 final, but we could say winner moves on, maybe? Something like that. What do you think, chat? We have 2,000 people here. Use your ideas. What do you think? Give us some ideas for what we can put up there. Final rounds? We could do final round. Final rounds make sense, actually. Look at the micro from K4SVA. Can we at least appreciate the fact he's gotten so much value from those scouts? Well played, K4SVA. Solid defense. Just 2 knights will clear this up, and then he no longer needs to repair that blacksmith. I have to say, this is a lot closer than I thought it would be after that first tower went up for Dogao. But guys, Mayans and Dogao, it's a deadly combo. There's a town center. And we have a siege workshop for K4SVA. This is Huang-esque right here. It's not right. It's K4SVA. Or Huang. I love this town center for K4SVA. It protects the golds. And then again, this is a cleanup for him that should be pretty easy. I would just make sure you don't lose a knight to this K4SVA. Micro that knight away. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. In fact, you can take a hit now. Alright. Now what I noticed, and salutes to Overlay Guy who's actually working on this while I'm streaming. Also salutes my internet company for making this possible. It's so nice to have quality internet. Dogao added a monastery, and he's just converted a knight. He's just converted a knight. So it's going to be awkward to engage against eagles with just knights if monks are out. A knight is lost to a conversion and to a kill there. And then this also is not looking too hot for K4SVA. So I think he needs to get out of here. He needs to surprise Dogao with that siege. We're looking at 48 villagers for Dogao. He's adding a 3rd town center now. So he will creep ahead even further with the villagers. And guys, this is some insane production. What do you do against this? You need mangonels. This is the one thing that K4SVA did different. This is the one thing that he went for to try and switch it up. But I don't think... Oh, a scout comes out. Can the scout get the monk? Oh, the scout gets converted. Oh, and he deleted a hole in his wall too, so now the units can come in. If you saw the set between Dogao and Ganji, in game 1 of that set, Ganji, who's a worse player than K4SVA, was ahead of Dogao, and Dogao just somehow found a way to win it. Right now, he is all over K4SVA. Insane production from Dogao. He's not stopping the production of villagers, monks, and siege. And he will take care of that stable. And those are the types of things that really go a long way. K4SVA's already behind with the production. So, if you lose a stable, you're forced to take engagements before it gets out of hand. And as you go to take engagements, Dogao will be there for conversions. This is so intense. And still the siege from K4SVA, it hasn't done anything for him. He actually has brought his Mangonel over here to attack the house. The house! But that's the problem, right? If he brings it in, the knights that he lost, or the eagles, just pick off the mango. So, easy to say now. But I feel like the Siege Workshop just was not the play, or at least the offensive Siege Workshop. 59 villagers for Dogao, 25 military. It's only 10 for K4SVA. K4SVA has idle time. It's time for this Mangonel to really pay for itself. If it doesn't, guys, Dogao has 2 relics already, and he soon will have the stone to build a castle. How insane is this? This is incredible. Should probably take care of that tower. There you go. Take care of the tower. He probably thought he did earlier. How's your micro, Dogao? Alright, he shoots the TC. He's probably confused because he didn't see a siege workshop back here. It doesn't look like there's space for one either. Alright. Now, what's really exciting about this, Arabia everyone's familiar with. Oh boy, we have a very safe castle. That's how bad it just got for K4SVA. He also had to delete farms to build the castle there. And also, these farms are already idled, so... Yeah, perhaps now, that means Dogao will try and reposition, and K4SVA can be in a position to take a big engagement. I think Chukanuk can be nice. I don't know how good the economy is going to be for K4SVA to get there. That's a lot of knights. They have +2 armor, they have bloodlines, and they have +1 attack. So almost fully upgraded. Dogao will know they're there, though. The house is really helping out. Though, why is he taking this fight? I don't think Dogao should be taking this fight at all. Dogao, why are you fighting this without your monks here? That was an awful fight for Dogao. He didn't have the 2nd armor upgrade himself. That was not good. Though I think K4SVA is still very hesitant to take engagement because he knows there's monks back there. It's so tough to kill eagles and monks. That's scouting for Dogao. Looking pretty good. I see him looking for more relics. Remember, he's on 2 at the moment. The 3rd is right there. And Dogao is nearing the resources he will need to go to the Imperial Age. I believe this is forward castle territory. Maybe since he's pretty far away from the front, he won't do it, as he's adding pike now. And look, the second a knight arrives, he starts to convert it, and K4SVA has to delete. I think K4SVA should counter. I think K4SVA should send the knights into Dogao's base. I think that's his only chance here. Because you can fight this. At least not comfortably. I feel like you almost need to somehow get Dogao back to his base, and the best way to do that is to counterattack. So tough, though. Especially now that Dogao has pike. You gotta force the fight somewhere else. And it's actually just a very safe defensive castle for Dogao as he nears the next stage. And now a town center, which might be tempting for Dogao. Dogao might try and deny this. A nice shot there from K4SVA. Good micro. Repairville. Beautiful. Maybe he can use the mango against the monks. And K4SVA's staying alive here. The micro again. Oops, actually he wasn't paying attention there, I guess. And he will engage underneath the TC, which is a fine engagement to take. It's fine. Actually, use the town center to shoot the monks and patrol in. Yeah, there you go. Dogao's misplaying this slightly. But the thing is, I think Dogao knows that he's so far ahead. He knows he's on his way to the Imperial Age. He knows he'll be in a fine position anyhow. So K4SVA, this is good. K4SVA, take the fight and start to push a little bit. Dogao has 3 relics against you. Dogao's on the way to Imp. You need a counter. The population is 101 to 101. We have knights and we have Chukunu. Did Dogao just make a big mistake taking that fight? Did he just throw his position? Or will he be able to build another castle or somehow control this? He's switching into plumes. He's going to go plume and pikeman. But pikeman died to Chukunu. Even halberdier died to Castle Age Chukunu. Alright, if you're Kasva now, you have to understand you are not on your way to the Imperial Age. Dogao probably is. So you need to push and you need to expand your economy behind it. 3, 4, sometimes 5 town centers in this situation as you push in Castle Age. And then if you weather that storm, hopefully you'll have more eco. Oh no! Kasva wants to drop a forward castle! That means he probably does not expect Dogao to be up. I mean, there is a gold there that can be denied, but building a castle there does not look so good. Okay, and he decides to build it here, which again, I don't like. I think a castle here makes more sense. This is still within Treb range, but he's pushing. Ever so slightly. He's pushing. What's up, Dave? Yeah, people have been asking a lot about when Dave's going to be in here to co-cast. I know life is very busy for him right now. Obviously, he'll be here for the main event. We'll try and get him in here on Saturday or Sunday. And Dogao, I can't say it's been his best game ever. That KD, that's not something that should happen for a player of his quality. But he's in the Imperial Age. He has more villagers. And he's making plumed archers. And if you're going plume pike and you get enough upgrades, it is really, really tough for Chinese. Again, Kasva was so far behind. It's deceiving now because it says he has 94 vills, but he did not have the efficiency. And he is also producing units which are pretty expensive. So the guy is just not going to be in a position to go to Imp. And so when you're in that position, I guess when you're in the position of not having a position, then you need to push. But the Chukunu, they won't stand a chance against the halberdiers. Or sorry, the plumed archers. And then the knights won't stand a chance against the halberdiers. And I expect Dogao to just be very, very patient. Still has his relics for now. It's an awkward place for the monastery to be. That might be taken down. Oh man, 2 castles for Kasva to produce the Chukunu out of. The knights look to close in, and Dogao just brings the pike forward. I think you almost need to back up for a second if you're Kasva. Back up. Or just patrol in with everything. Yeah, okay. Just patrol in with anything. What I was getting at is I think you need to fight. Because you need to buy time. So again, he takes a good fight. He's still producing knights. And he's on his way to the Imperial Age. Now, he's going to lose this castle. He's going to lose this castle. And if he loses this castle, he's then going to lose partial access to that gold on the stone. But props to Kasva. I think even if he loses game 1, this has had a feeling of inevitability about it. Oh wow, he tried to go for a sneaky tower. Missed that one. Like, this has felt like it's been over for a while, and Kasva has shown us what he's made of today. This best of 7, many people are saying 4-0, 4-1. Yes, Dogao's expected to go through, but Kasva is 14th seed for a reason. He actually has more pop now, but this is where he'll start to unravel. I think this castle, again, what did it give him? The army could have secured this area. The army could have protected this area. I think instead, castling here makes more sense. Because then if Dogao sends Trebs out, they're exposed. We'll be looking at Chukunu and Cavalier for Kasva when he does get to the Imperial Age. Still has a lot of gold. I like the food count. I like the resources. But these are elite plumed archers now for Dogao. And he's fighting Castle Age units. Dogao also is castling this extra stone and this extra gold out here. He sees almost everything. He must be using the auto scouting. Oh wait, it's not in this. We're using the old patch. Never mind. False alarm. I'm actually, chat, there's a lot of debate over the whole auto scouting thing, but in the main event, it was always so important to look and see who would scout the other areas of the map. We'd be like, oh, it's Viper, because Viper always does that. But now, with auto scouting, it's going to be funny because if you keep that scout alive, it'll just do it for you. It's not perfect, obviously, but that'll be something for myself and my co-casters to focus on. But look at these plumes. Not quite fully upgraded. Actually, no. Now they're fully upgraded. This is what the faster Imperial did for Dogao. This is what the Relics have done for him. And now, no gold and no stone there for K4SVA. And the score went from being very close to not very close in about 2 minutes. Dogao is just a beast. Even producing plumes from this side to raid where he can. And K4SVA, he's probably looking for one fight now. Cavalier's on the way and Armor's on the way. He's looking for one engagement. But there's 40 plumes on our screen. And with the mobility of the plumed archers, even if K4SVA could take this fight, the plumed archers are so quick, they can just run back and avoid any fight they don't want to take. Dogao is on the wood line with 2 plumes. He was over here. He was over here. He groups up now, and he will just micro his heart out against these units. And then K4SVA does not have enough, and we're getting very close to the end of game number 1 of this best of 7. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. 73 military for Dogao, and Dogao wins. So, we have a lot of games remaining. I want to sum this one up, though. The Siege Workshop was the difference for me. This forward-ville, this sneaky-ville, I can see what he was thinking. Because if you add this in, you want to push the hill where there's a stone and a gold. They both had an area with stones and golds. But I think the better play, in hindsight, would have been a 3rd town center instead of the Siege Workshop. And then it's still going to be a nightmare for you, because you have knights against eagles and monks. But, as we saw, he did take some good engagements anyways. I think you have to opt for the boom against someone like Dogao, who's Mayans and opting for the boom himself. The Siege Workshop slowed him down too much, and it didn't really give him anything. At the very least, build a defensive Siege Workshop. It definitely was not part of the plan for him to build the Siege Workshop here, and then not be in that location. I believe he thought he would be in Castle Age faster, and he was not. Alright, so the score is now 1-0 in this best of 7. It's been a couple days here. Just want to make sure everything's set up for me. Here's a look at the achievements. Look at the boom from Dogao. Virgil's Army says, I wonder why they don't go skirmishers in a situation you know they're going their unique unit. Okay. So, how many people think that K4SVA should have gone skirm there? Probably a lot of you. A few people mentioned it. If he goes skirm, he dies faster. That's what's ridiculous. Because he's behind in eco, you need to build archery ranges then, which costs a lot of wood. It's a lot of food and wood to make the skirms, plus you need to get all the upgrades. And it's so easy for Dogao to just make a switch into eagles. He actually dies faster if he goes skirms there. It's that brutal. That's why in most situations pros are going for gold units, because the second you go to a trash unit, it's so easy to make a counter to it, especially when Dogao is in full control. So in some situations, yes, having skirmisher in the mix with Cavalier is good, but he was too far behind. Dogao was just so far ahead in economy and momentum, and he had control of those golds in the center. All right, the game is like the way the game is played amongst the top 100, and in this case, you're looking at players in the top 30. Is completely different than how you guys might play the game. If you make a tech switch into skirm there, it's immediately punished. So, glad I could explain that. I hope I don't seem condescending in any way, but, wow. Okay. Before we hop into game number 2, and we will in just a second, remember, there's a whole bunch of home maps there. K4SVA has, Gold Rush. K4SVA has Cross. He played very well on Cross before. I think he went Huns against Nilly. And he has El Dorado, so it could be any of those maps. Jay Blake says, love you, greetings from Germany. Thank you for the 8 months, Jay Blake. Faru says, a year already. Thanks for all the hours of entertainment you've given me. Faru, my pleasure. Zacho, thank you. Jack and all shades, welcome. Hayuna donated $5 and said, just saw a drunk Bulgarian man fall off his horse. Guess he had too much gin and conic. Oh my god. That's so funny, but it's also so... That is such a dad joke. Oh my god, that's so good. He said, also screw you, Dave. I'm just gonna repeat this. Alright? Just saw a drunk Bulgarian man fall off his horse. Guess he had too much gin and conic. That's great. Smiller, saw you hanging out. Thank you. Harry, hello. GP, Volatin Shark, Pressurized, Mantis Prime. All right, guys. You're the best. You already know that. I don't need to thank you anymore. Chat knows. Chat knows they're the best. Let's load everything up. Get things prepped. There it is. Game number 2 coming at you. Okay, so I was wondering if you would go Huns again. K4SVA goes Huns again. So I find this fascinating because I think most top 15 players would choose civs like Persians or Japanese before going Huns. But K4SVA really likes Huns, and K4SVA is a player who tends to excel with Huns, I believe. He's very good in situations where he can flood the map, as are Huns. So this is Cross. This is Hidden Cup 3 Cross. There's a couple changes, alright? So you've probably seen Cross before in other events. There's pawns in the north, south, east, and west. The big change, and it's not really that big in the grand scheme of things, is that there's relics in the north, south, east, and west. So there's a relic in each corner sitting there. You can't dock this area. You'd have to transport to get the relic. And then the 5th relic is in the center next to this rock church, which actually was not... I don't think that was intended to be in the map. Or at least not in the same way that it ended up being. Just keep in mind, while it looks like a King of the Hill game, this is not King of the Hill. And yes, players can control this and it gives them a little bit of vision, but it doesn't do anything, okay? And the fact that it gives vision is pretty much... The only thing it could tell you, actually, is if your opponent runs through the center with something. That's the only useful part of it. Now, Persians is what Dogao went for. Persians start with more food, they start with more wood, so they can dock nice and early, they keep that build production going. Persians is probably one of the best civs for newer players out there. Their town centers work faster in Dark Age, Feudal Age, Castle Age, and the Imperial Age. And already we see... hold on, did we have idle time for K4SVA? Okay, a slight Vil lead for Dogao, so maybe some slight idle time. Looking at the maps, I think what's going to be interesting here is obviously the pawns, but notably this pond. Because K4SVA, he's pretty close to it, as is Dogao, and there's also a gold down here too. So imagine if K4SVA takes control of this area, and then pressures Dogao in the center. Dogao's golds are certainly wallable. Cross is wallable, but it's a lot of walling to do. I think K4SVA, he just wants to get to a lot of Cav Archers in Castle Age. Dogao will probably play this a little bit more pawns heavy for the fish control. Burlap Turtleneck says, do you know what patch the players are using if these are Rex? So what Microsoft have done for us, thanks to E, Microsoft has given us a patch for the qualifier. So that way the update didn't screw with the tournament. And we're using the patch that we're using before. So the Goth buff, which I discussed in the YouTube video yesterday, Vietnamese buff, those things are not included in this qualifier. We did not want to play with a different balance throughout a qualifier, and we didn't want the headache of recorded games breaking, all that good stuff. Now, for the main event, some decisions will be made, and that's not necessarily the case for the main event. But just so you know, yes, this is still the same patch we played on with the qualifier. Now look at this. This is what this does. It gives you some vision, but you lose... It's like King of the Hill in that if you don't have a unit there to secure it, it's gone. It's not a big deal for me. In fact, the only issue I have with it is that it blocks that area and makes it easier to wall, but we are going to make a slight change to that. There's already changes being made for maps for the main event. Just a few fixes here or there and things to spice it up. Okay, Dogao does not have Loom. Dogao does not have Loom. And K4SVA just passed. I'm really surprised, actually. Maybe he was looking away. Well, maybe it's auto-scouting. It could definitely be auto-scouting. Just kidding, this was on the previous patch. Well, Dogao's getting Loom now because he knows his Vil is exposed. I guess K4SVA wants to hold the HP on his scout. He sees that there's a dock there. And then Dogao is going to head back here. I'd expect the Persian player to boom a little bit more, play a little bit more defensive, wall more, whereas the Hun player, they're really in their wheelhouse, in Castle Age. That's when not building houses really pays off. K4SVA, okay. Alright, pretty close game so far. T90, this map reminds me when the Max controlled all 4 pawns and smashed the opponent. Max is a beast. I'm looking forward to seeing Max in the main event. Even though we won't know who is who. So we'll try and guess who Max is. Oh, this is fascinating. Okay, so I saw his berry position at the start for K4SVA. And I didn't like it because he couldn't like, fully surround the berries easily without villagers bumping. But he can actually take a shore fish and also a deep fish with his villagers. And that's going to be pretty fast for him. So I think he'll like that. Notice how K4SVA's not walling a lot. This can be good or it also can be very bad. So don't lumber camp there. Don't lumber camp there. Lumber camp here instead. There we go. That's a better lumber camp. Little bit of villager time wasted. I wonder if K4SVA can get a hit here. Could possibly trap the scout. Okay, never mind. I had too high hopes. Does anyone else... We get so accustomed to seeing the quick walls. Does anyone else, every time something like that happens, we just expect the player to quick wall? I know many people out there watching this would try, and then they'd forget about everything else. Like, they wouldn't build the barracks, they wouldn't build the mining camp. And then, you know, it's just not worth it in the end. But style points, man. Style points. Okay, so Dogao lost some HP on his scout. That was to the town center a moment ago. And Dogao is now making a stable. So both players are going for scouts, and they have fish boom to back it up. However, Dogao is up here. I just wonder if K4SVA's scout position is not where it should be right now. Because if he had a scout on patrol, he could have caught that villager. So Dogao wants to go for the pond play. Dogao adds a spear. And K4SVA realizes the spear is there, and he will not get that villager. Oh, it's an archer range opening for K4SVA. Okay, well, the issue, as Dogao is pop-capped because he's housed. Housed badly, actually. The issue I see here, as K4SVA takes the hill. Man, K4SVA's playing really good, I have to say. He gets the downhill hits, he's still trying to be a pest. I'm gonna jinx him, I can just tell, I can just tell. Oh, no! No, why did I say anything? Do we have the jinx emote back, by the way? I don't think we do. I need to add that back for tomorrow. Oh, wait. Okay, now Dogao micros. But the issue with an archer opening is that it's a bit slow. So it can be strong. If you have 5 archers with 2 spears, there's absolutely nothing Dogao can do. But Dogao has the mobility to just run away from any fight he doesn't want to take, which I think is the biggest concern. And Dogao is going to be fishing heavily. So right now, it says 36 villagers versus 32. That includes fishing ships. So K4SVA seems to want to fish heavily in this pond. Now, this was one of his home maps. So he chose this. We'll see what he can do Castle Age-wise, because he's saving up resources. It'd be nice if he could get to Castle Age faster here. So I think it is dangerous against Persians, especially if Persians have all that food income from the ponds. If they get to knights, they get +2 attack versus archers. So Persian knights are fantastic. Or even just knights and a lead skirmisher. But do not underestimate K4SVA and do not underestimate Huns. But K4SVA hasn't even scouted that in the north. That, in my opinion, like, he looked earlier, but that, in my opinion, is very sloppy. You can see how important that is to Dogao because he's protecting it. Can we add a T90 twerk emote? Yeah, we'll add a T90 twerk emote at 20,000 Twitch subs. Because that makes total sense. The things that people say sometimes. Alright, Dogao. He realizes he can't engage versus this, so he's making a tower. He did see the ranges. So, I guess he was just waiting until the pressure came in. Ooh, this is so good! This is so underrated. When someone's sending archers forward to your base, you know that they're probably going to be sending in reinforcements. And you can cut off the reinforcements and... Oh, K4SVA! Dogao? Hello? Free archer kills. Hello? Oh, why are you sending more archers out? No, don't send more archers out. Oh. K4SVA, no. That's exactly what Dogao wanted. And Dogao will just mop it up. See, it's so easy to make the mistake, too, because you're ready to fight. You're ready to push. You know you need more numbers here, and then you send them out, and then all of a sudden, whoops. Dogao added a lot more scouts than I expected here. And he's even getting forging. So he wants to fight the spears and the archers with just his scouts. I don't hate the archery range play for hunts. I hate the archery range opening. There's a difference. Now there's 3 spears here. Dogao does have the hill though. He'll micro down the spears first. And after that, he has 5 scouts remaining. K4SVA has not spent as much food on his army composition. That is one saving grace. But I think he needs to wait till Castle Age now, and he's on his way up. Dogao, he has the buildings to go up. He just needs to click up to Castle Age, and he's also on his way up. And since Persian town centers work faster, I think that time will end up being very, very similar, despite the fact that Dogao clicked up later. And guys, Dogao has 3 pawns, 58 villagers to 45 right now. But we saw this. How many people, with a show of ones, saw the Nili versus K4SVA set in round 1? With a show of ones. Okay. So, apparently, not many people watch my channel. Anyways, to the people who did, now Nili is, and no offense to him, not on the level of Dogao, but K4SVA did a similar thing. Nili was also Persians in that situation. And so we have 3 pawn play, a lot of food eco for Dogao. K4SVA didn't care. K4SVA went for farms. He transitioned into farms and away from fish and went heavy, heavy cav archers, which he'll do here. You see the Castle Age times? Persians are so freaking strong, man. You're not even punished for clicking up to Castle Age later. Like, look at that. That's ridiculous. Such an insane civ. Look at the food economy for Dogao. He has 1,200 food. Unreal. He will not be able to add a second TC right away. I see Dogao sending 2 vills out. Is this for a siege workshop or what, Dogao? I'm really surprised he didn't go 3 stables. What type of damage can K4SVA do here? What is this? Does he want to tower the wood line, possibly? 2 villagers. It looks like he wants to tower the wood line, but now crossbows in. Will be 4 spears and 19 crossbows for K4SVA. With Bodkin, and he's running right into Dogao's base. Will Dogao have the knights to deal with this? Here comes K4SVA. Oh, it's a siege workshop. Okay. Kind of a weird spot for it, because he might need it at home. This is not going to be easy to deal with. Dogao does have +2 armor. K4SVA is producing quite a few cav archers behind this. Actually, he's only producing 1 cav archer behind this. His eco balance is off. Yeah, how's your micro, K4SVA? Now, focus the knights down first. Good hits. Good hits. He hasn't taken any hits on his crossbows yet. The knights. Another one goes down. There's 4 remaining. K4SVA has to stop micro here. This is good. This is good micro from K4SVA. Will it last against Persian knights? I'm not so sure. But that's good value, I would say. Still, the concern is this right here, guys. 68 versus 48 eco. So yeah, Dogao took some losses, but it wasn't heavy losses. He didn't lose his economy lead. Can K4SVA spam enough cav archers to somehow clean Dogao up? Maybe get on water somehow. Yeah, those crossbows will get the kill. Ah! Okay, he gets the kill. Congratulations, man. He's still microing, too. And here comes the twing, twing from the cav archers. So, the issue is not so much the attack itself. That attack's fine if the eco difference isn't this huge. But what K4SVA does is he adds TCs and goes for vills. Dogao will do the same, but he's just now adding his second town center. The problem is, if you have knights with +2 defense, you need to have, if you're up against knights with +2 defense, you need to have double the numbers of your opponent. You can't have equal numbers. Alright, there's the siege workshop. This is something K4SVA has spotted. That's a great attack round from Dogao. Oh, and that's a good Maganel shot as well. No bloodlines on the Cav Archers. Oh, and the Cav Archers are going down. See, Dogao will have no issues taking these fights because he knows he has the eco to make more. If you're low elo legend, you might really care about each individual life in your town. Dogao doesn't care because he knows he'll have the resources to make more. People are disposable for him. That's how the game should go. And these Cav Archers are just running around and around and around. And Dogao will try and repair. I sense a big shot, and it's an attack round from Dogao. He's repairing the mango. He'll lose it. But how many Cav Archers and crossbows has K4SVA lost? He still hasn't been able to push in. And I think this is honestly GG right here. The Cav Archer play did not work. There's a reason people are picking Persians over Huns. I think K4SVA, he likes to play a certain way. He wanted to play in a way that he was comfortable. But even here, he adds a Desperate Knight to take out the Maganel. It's possible that won't land. Yeah, the Maganel will still be alive. The Cav Archers pop out, and the Cav Archers take it out, but then the Cav Archers die in the process. And Dogao is just everywhere. Pawns. 3 TC boom now. He even quick-walled there. Did you see the quick-wall? He quick-walled with the Palisade. What a nerd. And with that quick-wall, the Cav Archers couldn't escape. They were trying to path that direction. And now a ram. Dogao has somewhere to be today. He's ready. He's looking very, very good. Again, there's a reason that so many people are saying that Dogao could go far in the main event of Hidden Cup 3. It's not just because he's a beast in the qualifier and better than the other players in the qualifier. He is one of the best players in the world. And this is GG. This is GG. K4SVA's going to try here because he has some Pike involved. But if you have this many Knights, 14 Knights, 10 Cav Archers behind, not enough Cav Archers. The Pikemen, not enough. The Barracks will go down. Dogao is just brute forcing his way into his base. I just don't think K4SVA had the right game plan. Especially against... I mean, maybe it was the right game plan against a player like Dogao. Let's try and go all-in Castle Age, but I still think you have to fight for the pawns. He didn't go to the south at all. He didn't go to the north. This is a slaughter now. He's still trying. He's going to make ranges now, but now, there we go. He realizes it is over. He taps out. How good is Dogao, chat? How good is Dogao? That was crazy. And how good is Persians on this map as well? Persians are just... It's probably the Civ. So Persians, the thing is, they're also fantastic on a lot of maps. So when you use Persians is always very important. So far, Dogao chose Mayans and Persians. Nice T90 farm Dogao. Makes me relate a little bit. But if the series goes long, K4SVA still has Mayans available. He still has Persians available. I feel like K4SVA's picking Civs that might be saving some better Civs for the future, if that makes sense. I also think he just likes to play Huns here. The eco difference is obvious. 10,000 food for Dogao. Way more wood. Gold count doesn't really matter. Stone, he would have built a castle soon. That game was just landslide victory for the Brazilian. Okay, so now K4SVA has a whole list of a whole host of home maps is what I meant to say originally. On our screen, he just went for Cross. He has Gold Rush available. You can go out of order. It seems like players haven't been doing that, but you can go out of order. You could go for El Dorado if you want. But those are his options. Wait, no. What am I talking about? It's Slopes next. So Slopes and Ravines are set maps, so it's Slopes for sure. My bad. This is a bit different from round 1, so I'm getting used to it as well. Score is 2-0. And following Snail and Old Sergori, thank you guys for dropping some gifted subs to start off the day. Jackhammer says, nice maps. I'm really looking forward to Hidden Cup 3. I agree. I'm really happy with the map pool. There will be a few tweaks we make before the main event, but I haven't seen anyone really complaining about the maps, both players and also viewers, so that's a good sign. Slopes is map 4. What am I talking about? Wait, I got confused because Cross was listed as 3 there. Yeah, okay, so I was right originally. Sorry, I got 4 hours of sleep last night. That's my excuse for being a noob. Keep in mind, we can't have civilizations that they've chosen already. So yeah, this is going to be either Gold Rush or El Dorado for Kazva's home map. I'm totally down with I'm totally down with going for a pro caster emote. I'm just not sure what that emote would be, guys. So tell Dux. Dux and I will be having a conversation, and we'll work on something. All right, so he goes for Gold Rush. This is Hidden Cup 3 Gold Rush. And what's funny is I played this exact same Civ matchup against K4SVA last week. We played... No, it wasn't even last week. It was like 2 or 3 days ago. It was over 2 hours. Mainly because I wouldn't resign. But I went Slavs, which I think is really good. And I was on Dogao's stream when he was picking Khmer. And I was like, Dogao, I'm telling you, Slavs is better than Khmer. I have to speak to Dogao after this. And I'm really curious why he picked Slavs. I can't take all the credit. But I'm kind of going to take all the credit because it's my stream. And then we have K4SVA has gone for Khmer. So both civilizations are fantastic with their farms. And so what we have is 7 tiles of gold here for K4SVA. It's wallable. Wallable safe, but quite open on the front. And then for Dogao, these golds are fine, just not quite as fine because of these woodlines from K4SVA. So he has back woodline options. He has the stone if he needs it. You don't really need it as Slavs. Most likely we'll have the mill in front, and then we'll have the barracks and everything looping around. It's certainly more awkward for Dogao. In the center, there's only 1 or 2, or I guess 3 wolves to worry about. And the gold is actually not between the players. It's just this hill here. So this is an interesting gold rush generation. Not gonna lie to you guys. Really would like K4SVA to get a win here. He's fantastic with Khmer. In the game I played against him, I had the center with Slavs. And he just, with all that food he got from his farms... he had Halbs and Hussar, and I ended up dying. So, it's such an interesting map, right? Because the person who does not have control of the gold, they have about 10 to 20 more villagers on wood and food. And that wood and food can make a big difference. And then, at the same time, if it doesn't make a difference, if it doesn't pay off, then what happens is, the lack of gold is apparent. It becomes more than obvious. Now, I think Slavs are good because they still have some of the best farms in the game, if not the best farms in the game. If you have the mills set up, right? Khmer don't have the drop-off points, but I love Slav farms. They also have all the counters to someone like Khmer. Uh-oh, K4SVA, be careful. He senses it. Very good scouting there to sense that he might run into the town center. But you have Redemption Monks, so you can convert Scorpions or Mangonels if need be. With all that food income, you can go for Elite Skirm to counter Archers. You have Halberdiers. You have fully upgraded Cavalier and Hussar. You have Siege Ram. You have Siege Onager. What was the Civ that MBL used to go with? A bit of Hidden Cup history and quiz, I guess. What was the civilization that MBL would always go with on Gold Rush in Hidden Cup 2? Do you guys remember? It was one of the tells. We thought it was MBL. And I said to Dave, if he goes for this civilization and goes straight skirmisher, it's probably MBL. Yep, it was Slavs. But nobody's talking about Slavs now. Dogao was playing a rated game on Gold Rush, and he was playing as Khmer. And I was like, I resubbed. I was like, no. Slavs are better, so we'll see. Let's see, they played these games yesterday. I spoke to Dogao about that 2 days ago. And as silly as it sounds that someone might change how they would play based on a conversation or based off just seeing a game or two. Wow, Dogao can't find his sheep. Oh my god! Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous! How has he not found those sheep, man? This is why we added auto-scouting. This is why... Hold on a second. Does K4SVA see them? K4SVA doesn't see them either. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. I don't think Dogao will ever find them. Those sheep will not be found. This is why auto-scouting was needed. Now here's the thing with auto-scouting. I haven't tested it enough yet. But I believe Now, we're playing on the old patch that did not include auto-scouting. Main event will probably be played with auto-scouting if they want it. But I believe since it scouts like the AI, if you can't find sheep in that scenario and you set it to auto-scouting, it will find it. Based on my tests anyway, I believe it would actually help you there. But okay, Dogao thinks he was lamed. It's a tournament. So he just assumes that the sheep were stolen. K4SVA assumes Dogao has all of his resources, and this will be an opening of scouts for both players. Dogao compensated a bit, and he built 2 farms, and he also sent a few extra berries. Everything looks good for a scout build. So we have 2 of the best farming civilizations in the game, on a map where food is very important, so you can then take control of the gold. Okay. Red card, in the most recent patch, you can press a button with your starting scout where it scouts for you. It scouts in like an AI would. And so we've just been making jokes about it because half of the people here think it's really dumb and half of the people here are like, wow, that's really nice. I don't think there's many people who fall in between on this topic. So I naturally have to bring it up. That's... We will divide the people. Sorry, my evil voice needs some work. So, K4SVA, you could say, is better off because he had his sheep. They'll both get double bid axe and both get horse collar. Dogao's horse collar is delayed. Uh-oh, K4SVA. Oh, they both get a downhill hit? Oh my god, this is close. And okay, K4SVA bails. Now, K4SVA does not have a... Oh wait, no, he doesn't bail. He gets the hill. That was so perfect from both of them. They're both on 23 HP. But K4SVA does not have a barracks. Because with Khmer, you can build the stable before the barracks or any other building. He's checking to make sure there's no hole here. Smart thinking. So K4SVA does need to make sure he avoids the spears. As I say that, he sees the spearman. Nice job. Alright, so if I'm K4SVA... I'm walled, so I just wait till I get 3 scouts and start moving forward. And Dogao, he's gonna realize that K4SVA's walled. He's walling himself. Again, these golds are fine. It's a little bit more he has to do. But after this, it's about how much you invest into, and if you transition into something after the fact. Because if there's a lot of spears and a lot of walls, it makes a lot of sense to go archers, but doesn't necessarily make sense for these civilizations. Alright, attacking the stable, maybe to catch out some reinforcements. K4SVA has 4 scouts on the field. Dogao has 3 scouts, and he has a spearman. So, and the sheep... This is the most exciting thing about this game. They still have not been found. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, K4SVA sees the scout. Okay, so he's chasing the scout, and he's not going to find the sheep. I mean, I think the sheep are safe. I don't think they're going to be eaten. What? Are you kidding me? The sheep are right in the middle of the freaking map. It's right between the 2 players. That is hilarious. Okay, there's an archer range from K4SVA. This is not something that Dogao can see. Oh, and Dogao gets a snipe on the scouts. But this is just downright ridiculous. Like, this is as T90 blind as it gets. If he scouts even half of a tile, he finds them. That is hilarious. Alright guys, so what K4SVA has done is he's switching into archers. This delays his castle time because he's putting 300 plus wood into archer ranges, not to mention the wood into the archers instead of farms. What Dogao will do, I believe, is just go into knights and siege in the next stage. And now he sees that single archer, so he knows what he's up against. But it can be a bit dangerous for Dogao because he will not have a counter against, let's say... Actually, you know what? K4SVA can't make a spearman. So I was thinking 2 spearmen, 4 archer running forward could like push him off of some resources, but that's actually not a huge worry for Dogao. And he's about to be finished with his forage. Alright. Will these sheep be found? Hidden sheep 3. I guess technically it's hidden sheep 2. If only this would have happened in Hidden Cup 2. There's another stable for Dogao. Yeah, he definitely wants to go full knights. So Bonnie says, anyone wants a gifted sub to get the sub count to 5,200, question mark, with his 5 months. So Bonnie, I've just asked the Twitch chat. I don't think anyone here wants to receive a gifted sub, so thanks for the offer, but they're good. They're good. They all have Twitch Prime. Nato, thank you for the 2 months. He says, glad to support you even though I only have time to watch on YouTube. Thank you for that. People who do that do not go unappreciated. I can't tell you how many times I'm doing work offline because I'm always at my computer. And someone will drop a Prime sub. It happens frequently. And if you're one of those people out there who are watching on YouTube and drop the Twitch Prime, thank you. I was kidding, by the way. Slacker, thank you for the gifted subs. Thank you for the gifted subs. Lake Effect says, thanks for all you do for this community. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Lake Effect. I will try. The sheep! He found the sheep! I think I want him to leave them there. Don't move them. At this point, no one's going to take sheep anyway. Just leave them there. I want to see if Dogao finds them. They're safe. You can tell they're freaked out, like, Don't move. Dogao is scouting the map everywhere. It's not auto-scouting. It's like you actually have to control your own units. Oh my god. He's scouting where the relics are. He's scouting where the extra stones and golds are. So he knows what he needs to do in the next stage. Now, I don't hate the archer switch from K4SVA. I really don't hate it. But it's a bit risky against Slavs. Because you basically delay your own food economy. And then Dogao is probably going to build a siege workshop. And go for knights. So he'll have knights. And sorry, he's not going to make the knights from the siege workshop. But he'll also go siege, I believe. It's going to be very dangerous. But also could pay off in a big way. I think the concern here is that he showed Dogao that archer. So Dogao will expect this. Whoa. Okay, Dogao's going for a town set. He's just going for the boom! Interesting. Well, if he's just going for the boom, that means he thinks he will have enough knights to trade versus the crossbows. The question is, will he? Guys, he has +2 armor on the way already. I'm telling you, Slavs, I don't know why they're underrated, but they can get away with a 3 TC boom and just 2 stable knights and hold control. Those farms are so quick. It's deceiving. When you look at the Khmer player, you see the food count going up like this. So you figure, alright, well, it's faster, but yes, the Slav farms need to be dropped off, but they farm significantly faster, and get ready for the Vil lead to start for Dogao. Or that's what you would assume, anyways, but the second TC's up for K4SVA too. He's adding more crossbows. He actually kept his scouts in the mix. That's good for any monks that might come out. And he also has an elephant. Will the elephant be enough to tank here? I think without that elephant, I think Dogao considers engaging. But with the elephant, with a few elephants, maybe the elephants can tank enough damage. Oh, he found his sheep. Alright, and he kills a knight. Or K4SVA does anyways. Elephants are pretty expensive, but in this situation, I like it over 4 knights. Because you don't have many upgrades, and you're not going to invest into many upgrades on these units. 66 population. Now K4SVA is sending villagers forward. He's making a monastery. Will he go double monastery? What's the plan here? I don't think so. Maybe an outpost? Remember, he's just 2 town centers. So Dogao has that villager lead, and Dogao's also added a monk already to heal up his units. Well, K4SVA knows what he's up against here. What he doesn't know is that it's immediate 3 TC for Dogao. I feel like with any other Civ, you'd have to go 2 town centers like K4SVA is. Not with Slavs. Slavs are still beastly. And the thing is, let's say someone picks Britons on this map. You pick Britons, you can still go siege Elite Skirm and have Insane Eco behind it. If you can't tell, I believe Slavs are good. You know, this is a good position for K4SVA to be in. It's a bit risky, but if you take out the stables, or start to, then Dogao's forced into an engagement. I just don't know if he wants to do this before having a few monks. Yeah, look at K4SVA. He's well aware that Dogao is sitting here. Yep. Those elephants on the hill, too, are doing some real damage to that stable. That stable could go down. I don't think K4SVA has any interest. Uh-oh. K4SVA, run away with the thick boys, the flappy boys. Uh-oh. The stable's down at least. K4SVA can get his own conversion, possibly. But there's 2 monks behind here. You need to deal with the monks, K4SVA. Can he deal with the monks? He deals with one. He deals with both of them. Now, are the elephants going to be enough? They might be. They might just be. That was sick play from K4SVA. That was beautiful play. He took care of the monks. If he didn't take care of the monks, he would have lost his elephants. Now, he still needs to be very careful here. He backs away again. K4SVA is in this game, guys. Beautiful micro from him. I have to say, though, still a very dangerous situation. Oh, the monk. The monk. The monk. The monk will die. Or it should die. It does die. These elephants are tanky. Again, no upgrades. If you went for knights, it wouldn't stand a chance. But K4SVA is winning this game, guys. He's winning this game. Let's go. Never mind the fact that I've been talking about how good Slavs are, and now the player who's playing as Slavs is losing. Never mind that. K4SVA is going to walk forward and, well, first off, he's going to build a town center in the middle. He's also going to try and build some barracks right in front of Dogao's face. Guys, I think the greed of Dogao has cost him a little bit here. He still has so much gold. And K4SVA's micro has been impeccable. He did get a conversion. Now, he's trying to do an awful lot right now. And the worry here is you have 19 farms. Dogao has 22. Okay, not a big difference. But I think the worry here is that you don't streamline towards one thing in particular. Dogao did have to rebuild stables. I think here adding in pike with your crossbows is not a bad move. This is certainly a good play. And a university. Man, he has siege workshop, university, monastery, barracks, stable. Could get a conversion possibly. And fails, but man, the elephant's such a good choice. Oh man, if K4SVA just saw the stone. If he just scouted the fact that Dogao was on that stone, how big of a difference would that make? Dogao sending the knights to the center now. This is probably where K4SVA will arrive, and K4SVA immediately garrisons. He immediately goes in for conversion, which I think he should get. He does, and the monk goes down. Can he get another conversion? Possibly. Well, the fact that Dogao is on stone means that he can build a castle, and if he can build a castle, he could protect himself at home, or maybe he can win a fight and get to the center. But he seems a long way away from being in a position to take a big fight and securing the middle. And there is stone income for K4SVA as well. K4SVA just has to be careful not to let the units through. What a game, guys. What a game. K4SVA has 105 population, is 91 for Dogao. K4SVA has ballistics now. Just force the fight. If there's no siege, force the fight a little bit. You have the pikemen too. Look at the micro. Very good micro. As I say that, he needs to garrison in the center. Garrison in the center. Okay, he loses a vill or two, and he reacts. This is not an easy game to play, let me tell you. Where do you castle if you're Dogao? Rams? Rams? What? And by the way, the sheep are still there. But rams? Well, that's enough to freak Dogao out. And now Dogao is placing the castle there. But is he securing a crucial area of the map? He's not. K4SVA will get a conversion. I'm sure of it. What? 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 I'm sure of it. No! Oh God! No! Bail on it! Bail on it! Bail on it! Okay, get out of here! Okay, he wanted to castle there. The gal's already castling there. Okay, he'll go on this side. Let's get the T90 doubts in the chat. No, I really feel like... How do I feel about that castle? I'm not sure about it. Like, yes, it kind of blocks Dogao from the center, but you could also just castle here, right? Our Lord and Savior is watching over us. Definitely do not want to go to the Imperial Age if you're in K4SVA's position until you have the map secured. And, oh, he's all over the place. Dogao can't expand, and the crossbows are in. And this is some of that precious farming eco that Slavs need. And K4SVA knows the knights are here. Yeah, he knows the knights are there, so he knows he can run in. And he has not seen any siege. So the vill count is slightly in favor of K4SVA now, and K4SVA, I think this is a misplay. Is it a misplay? Is it not a misplay? He wants to push the castle. Well, he does have pikes he's going to send into the rams. Still has to deal with this. Dogao's so good at picking off reinforcements and delaying. Will this work? And what is that? What? Hello? Hello? Hello, game? Hold on. Let's zoom in. Zoom back out. That was weird. Thanks, DE. Suddenly I'm reminded we're casting a 20-year-old game. Uh-oh. Oh, this could be so awkward. Oh, no. K4SVA. K4SVA, no! K4SVA throw. K4SVA gates. K4SVA stonewall here. What is that villager doing? No! No! Oh, that's gonna hurt so much. That's gonna hurt so much. Because now Dogao can get in. There's no pikemen here. Everything that K4SVA built was on the fronts. But how smart was it from Dogao to push? He knew that he could use mobility, and he finally found a way to use it. And guys, he is on his way to the Imperial Age. Now, does he have access to gold? Not a lot. There's about 1,000 gold there. It's enough to make some trebs. Can K4SVA possibly push the castle down? If K4SVA pushes that castle down and cleans up these knights, I think K4SVA wins the game. K4SVA's diving in. He has 4 rams. What is Dogao going to make? This is the perfect time for K4SVA. It was all part of the plan. There was never a doubt. Never a doubt. He'll take a decent fight against the knights. A more than decent fight against the knights. He moves in with the rams. The crossbow... Uh-oh. There is a mangonel there. He has to be very careful. The crossbows are underneath the castle. Will the rams stay up? Will the castle stay up for Dogao? Dogao needs to repair that. He needs to repair that. He does repair it. What a ridiculous game. And Dogao is prepping elite skirm at the moment. Now K4SVA, he might not have taken that castle out. But he is on his way to the Imperial Age. And he should know what Dogao's up to. Okay? So, I think now he's in a position to castle the center. I'd mentioned this earlier. If you castle the center now, you're good. I mentioned it at the start. The food eco is so important for the player who has the gold. It's only 22 on food versus the 32 on food for Dogao. So I think K4SVA, he probably would need something like Hussar here. And he needs to make sure his food eco is right to do it. What an epic game. Easily the game of the day so far. Game 3, best of 7 to see who makes it into the main event of Hidden Cup. K4SVA wants to shock the community and make it in past Dogao. Dogao is not going away quietly. The Slav skirmishers, they're alright. They do lack bracer. But what is it going to be for K4SVA? He's still making rams. Still really wants to make rams. He has tons of pikes, tons of crossbows. He can kill these vills. That's good. Buying himself time by repairing that castle. I like that. He's definitely added farms. You can see it over here. I feel like even just capped ram could be really good. Capped ram arbalest, actually. Arbalest skirm. Maybe you don't make a switch into Hussar. Dogao's adding barracks, so he's expecting to have to make some pikemen. The sheep! The sheep! Yeah, I actually think going capped ram and sticking on ranged units is not a bad play here for K4SVA at all. What a push in Castle Age to get into this position from K4SVA. My god. And there's not a lot that Dogao has to take care of regular rams. Just imagine capped rams. And now K4SVA has the sheep. So oh wow, the sheep was damaged by the ram or something. Oh, poor guy. K4SVA's kept this castle up for a while, but he's not on stone, so he's about to run out of stone. How much do you commit to this, K4SVA? It feels to me like he's going to engage immediately when he realizes that he does not have the stone to repair any longer. Feels to me like he's going to engage. It's probably not the worst play. It's all skirms in there. Armor's completed. This is not the Imperial Age armor, but the Castle Age armor. Can he take out the Trebs and keep that castle up? If he does, I think Dogao is dead. Dogao loses the trebuchets. And now the Rams are taking down the buildings. The upset is on. The comeback is on. K4SVA has the gold control with Khmer. He's going for Cavalier behind this, and Dogao has a few halves, but that's it. Not enough, that's for sure. He does fire uphill. It's kind of a dud shot. It's 140 population for Dogao. The only gold he has is this Relic. And the raiding from K4SVA. He's raiding the right side. He's raiding the left side. He's pushing the castle. Dogao's castle will fall. God damn it. Like, all the good things I had to say about Slavs, too. Really, Dogao. And now he's gonna blame me for this. I have his cell. I should text him. Be like, hey, did you pick Slavs because of our conversation? If so, sorry about that. But no, honestly, it's just K4SVA outplayed him. It has nothing to do with the Civ here. K4SVA outplayed the guy. And Dogao doesn't seem to want to give it up now. He's probably looking up my number as we speak, so he can give me a hard time. But, guys, we're going to a game number 4. The score will be 2-1 at this point. There's no way K4SVA loses this. Beautiful play. Oh, and he even spotted that Dogao's trying to expand his food eco out here. It's so funny to me because this is exactly how the game went down. Well, actually, that's not exactly how the game went down when I played K4SVA with the Civ matchup. But I tried to do the same thing Dogao's doing and expand like this. And I was hoping the Slav farms would work for me. Like here, you see how he's expanding? So he's in a lot of different areas. And he's thinking, maybe if I get to Skirm and Halb, I'll be okay. But now the food eco's sky high for K4SVA. He obviously is aware that Dogao's over here, so there will be no surprises. And as Dogao tries to expand his eco elsewhere, he's losing all of this eco in the center. So I don't think Dogao's expanding enough where he's going to be able to get more population. I think he's only going to drop. Not to mention that K4SVA can take those relics from him, which it's not hugely important. It's more important about taking away from Dogao. K4SVA's producing. The only thing that Dogao is producing right now is villagers. Russell Jackson in the chat says, even if K4SVA loses, he has played the hell out of this game, being super aggressive against an awesome player, so big props. Exactly, yeah. Well, that's what the qualifier is all about, right? There are going to be, like, every single player who played in this qualifier are fantastic players. And most of the players who play in this qualifier are not as well known as they should be, because they do not get an opportunity to compete. I think we can say after that game that K4SVA deserves an opportunity to compete. All of the players in this qualifier has deserved an opportunity to compete, and we are going to a very exciting game 4 now. By the way, sheep update, the sheep did move slightly. So they got to stretch their legs near the end, and they did survive. Oh, what an interesting game. What's the economy look like? See, the part of me that wants to be right about Slav farms being OP wants to remind you that Dogao should have resigned like 5-10 minutes ago. And even with less farmers, he would have had the same food count. Like, the ego in me wants to remind you that Slavs are still very good. But man, Khmer, that pressure from K4SVA was nuts. He had archers, he had elephants. I think it was the elephants that saved him. It was the elephants. And also, the crossbows taking out those monks. That micro was incredible. To beat Dogao with good strategy choice, that's one thing. But to beat Dogao with excellent micro and macro like that, he just flat out played him. It wasn't like he surprised Dogao. He just flat out outplayed him. Quality stuff, K4SVA. Woo, alright. Good Cat says, was playing some AoE 1 and the meta is to chop stragglers at the beginning. Maybe that is why low elos are chopping them in AoE 2. I feel like the reason that people are chopping stragglers in Age of Empires 2 is because they don't like the look of them. I think that that's the low elo reasoning, but I'm not too sure. Maybe some low elo legends in the chat can let me know. Something like that. Alright. Not going to waste any time because we'll be casting all day today. We have many games to get through. Let's move on to the next game. So if you've been with us since the beginning, thank you for hanging out. If you're still watching on YouTube and you haven't skipped ahead yet, props to you. I know it takes a lot of, what's the word for this? Self-control. It's 2 words. It takes a lot of self-control. This is game number 4. Now, this was a set map, and this map is Slopes. It's a new map that was brought into the Hidden Cup 3 qualifiers and will be in the main event. Now, Slopes, you have Hunt in the north and south, and you have Shorefish in the east and west. And Indians are fantastic with their villagers on Shorefish. So players actually did not pick Mongols. They've gone for Indians. Indians was completely open. It was not banned. I think we had Goths globally banned, which is really weird. And Aztecs. So no Goths, Aztecs, no civilizations that the players have chosen for themselves before. Now, if you've seen this map, it is probably one of the best maps in Hidden Cup. And there are some maps that can be really bland with mirror matchups. If you have the same civilization against the same civilization, it's just, which guy does the best thing better? But the thing is, on this map, there is no best thing. I mean, there's a few things. Taking the Shorefish, very important. Sorry, this would be Shorefish. That's nice. But I've seen players go crossbow, I've seen players go camel, I've seen players go cav archer, I've seen players go for so many different things because it's so hard to know what to do. And Dogao is up 2-1, but what has been the theme? What has Dogao been able to do every single game? He's been able to full wall his base and stay very secure. And he was more secure in game 1, if you think back. He was more secure in game 2 with his walls. This is not a map where you can do that all that easily. It's also not a map where players have a lot of practice, because it's new. I don't know how much Dogao's been practicing these new maps. I don't know how much K4SVA's been practicing the new maps, but I know that K4SVA chose some of the new maps for his home maps, which I think is a great game plan. This, of course, was a set map, so we're almost going to force the players to play it. Alright, so it's constantly a conversation of, have the players expanded enough to the sides for wood, because you'll start running out of wood. And then it's, have they secured the center enough? Because there's stone and gold there. It's really tough. T90, what do you think of the Teuton buff? I feel like they need more against ranged units, like Ironclad giving Pierce Armor. No, Pierce Armor for Ironclad would be so stupidly broken. No, listen, I know you guys love Teutons. The reality is, you can patch Teutons all you want, but unless you want to change the identity of the Civ, it's not going to be top tier in 1v1, unless you're talking Arena. It's just the reality. It's a slow, but one of the strongest slow Civs, which is how it goes. If you put them on Arena or any closed map, they're very good. But I'm not going to talk about balance changes now, because we're casting... First off, we're not casting Teutons, so not really the time to talk about it. Also, this is not including the recent patch. The qualifier is just based on the old patch. It's not like people were going to pick Goths, Vietnamese, Teutons, or any of the other Civs anyways, but... We can maybe talk about that between this set and the next. Excuse me. I've never seen K4SVA play before, but he seems very solid. What's his background? Says, hi everyone, how's it going? So he's a Turkish player. He's, I think, mid-20s. And he's been playing this game on and off for about a decade, I believe. And he's been considerably active over the last few years. Since I've been on the scene, he's been on and off active and hanging around the top 100. You guys probably don't know him because you guys might not frequent. In the Voobly scene, everyone who's top couple hundred knows each other, frequent each other, see each other. It's just that normally if I have the chance to cast, let's say it's MBL versus Leary playing a rated game, or K4SVA playing against Vinchester, I'm going to choose MBL Leary, you know, so you guys might not get to see them as much. That was just an example here. But K4SVA, he did make a mistake there. He took some damage on his scout. He will be in Feudal Age slightly faster than Dogao, though. It looks very much like a scout build for both. Both players do have villagers on the shorefish, and they're exposed there. T90 is part of the problem. I mean, yes. In terms of giving other players exposure, yes. But I also feel like there's a lot of players who do get exposure because of the channel, too. So you're going to wall in the center. It's inevitable. It just takes forever. Which is why losing that scout HP right there is so bad for K4SVA, because he might not be able to take a good fight against a wall villager. Dogao is just protecting himself everywhere. Now Palisades on this side. And it's interesting how K4SVA is walling up. You can't wall on this rock terrain, guys. So the way he's building up his base is fascinating to me. I feel like it doesn't do too much. Alright. Indian villagers collect shorefish faster. They also hold more food. It's one of the fastest food sources in the game, for those that don't know that. So, having those villagers on food is essential. So quick. Dogao has 400 plus food. He hasn't built a single farm. He hasn't taken his berries. Crazy. So we'll see spears. We will see scouts. I feel like this suits K4SVA. I feel like this map suits K4SVA slightly. Dogao is a very fast player, but I think K4SVA really likes messy games. And you can easily make a game like this messy. You'll see, Dogao, notice how he's not pushing out at all. Look at all the red moving out. But then Dogao prefers to stay at home, and he won't move out until he's safe. And K4SVA sees the villagers are walled in, and so he'll just run back. And the only opportunity for you now, K4SVA, would be to catch a wallville. And now he needs to micro back because of the spears. Yep, so lots of spears brings lots... Or sorry, lots of scouts brings lots of spears. This is why we need to keep in mind that archer transitions can be very, very common on this map. And K4SVA will need to fall back, though. I really do, because there's not much you can do now. If Dogao is going to wall like this, you need to create military. Well, that's a good fight for him. Good fight for K4SVA. Yeah, you need to create military, and you need to use that to keep yourself safe at home. Now, you could still take the deer. The deer is still an option for both of them, but it's exposed. 3 full HP scouts for Dogao. It's, I guess, 2 weak scouts for K4SVA, and K4SVA, yeah, he needs to keep his units together now. See, this scout being here, it doesn't help him. Really needs to bring this home, but he has walled in his shorefish fields. He does have a few spears out, and he's starting to farm. Dogao is starting to do the same. Bump F333, welcome back for half a year. Man, this has been hype. There's a hole there, right? I feel like there's a one-tile gap there. Oh! Nice engagement for K4SVA. Good hits. Beautiful hits. Okay, he's fine now. Yeah, there should be no worry that Dogao is going to get into his base, assuming he brings a build to wall this, and a build to wall this. It's interesting the order in which you take resources, too. Now they're building a mill on the berries. I don't love the walling from K4SVA. So I feel like archers can easily range that. But you could say the same for Dogao's gold. He doesn't have the best gold either. Dogao's still creating scouts. And K4SVA might assume at this point that he needs to save his food to get to Castle Age at a reasonable time. He does not seem to notice that Dogao has that many scouts. Okay, he notices it now. I believe he'll notice after he loses the scout. Okay, and now he's defending with more spearmen than scouts. Which means Dogao, this is Dogao's time to make some archers. Dogao sees that K4SVA's making the archer ranges. I thought that was a mining camp for a second. Still no archer range for Dogao, who is in full control. He's the only one who has a slight opportunity to do some damage. Now, eventually your villagers get finished with the fish. And, again, is there a hole there? Okay, I thought there was a hole there. But yeah, they need to make it home at some point. Dogao might be realizing that it's the time for him to go over there because he sent some villagers home from this side. And he did. This is interesting. And now the villagers are going to have escort home. And Dogao, this is kind of awkward for both players. But the villagers are walking around, and K4SVA is getting the worst end of this. Oh, this is so awkward, right? Dogao, it might not kill any villagers, but it's still so awkward. The villagers are on the way home now. Dogao loses an extra scout. The archers are on the way. I don't like the fact that Dogao took that fight. K4SVA's okay. He's okay. K4SVA, turn around with your spear and hit the scouts. Turn around. Nice! He didn't hit them. Alright. Hit it. Okay, good micro Dogao. So, K4SVA going for the archer transition earlier. He's down 200 food because he did that, but he could start to pressure. Dogao actually not transitioning into archers at all. So he's used the wood that K4SVA built archer ranges with, and he's put it into farms, and he's making another stable. So he wants to go into camels. The other stable's hiding behind the barracks. Now K4SVA does not know. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. See, he assumes that Dogao could be going for archers because he knows it's a good play, and he's building a tower. But again, there's no defined meta on this map. You can't assume. That means he will be further away from a second town center when he does get to the next stage. He does have a lot of spears with the archers. We'll see if he can break through. K4SVA, oh my goodness, his food count is so low, guys. It's so low. He has all the archers he would ever want. He needs to pressure soon. I'm really surprised that Dogao has not decided to tower. But I guess the gold isn't rangeable right now. It would make sense for Dogao to tower. It would not make a whole lot of sense for K4SVA to tower, and he's already done that. So it's such an interesting conversation because K4SVA obviously has benefited from the fact he's gone for archers. He's pressuring, and he could get in. But is he going to have enough to justify the fact he's so much later to the next stage? Now, if he keeps his numbers alive, you never know. Dogao has the wall behind. That spearman weakens those two scouts. Alright, so K4SVA, we'll see Dogao's in the next stage. Now, I wonder how Dogao plays this. Will he go... I feel like Dogao will always go for a town center here. He always goes for the eco. Yeah, okay, he goes for the town center first. And we'll be making camels. And they're Indian camels, too, so they can definitely fight feudal age archers. Oh, K4SVA. K4SVA, you need to stop here. You need to attack those scouts. They're getting free hits. Nice. This is good for K4SVA. Yeah, K4SVA just needs to keep his numbers alive. I was wondering if Dogao would add a siege workshop or not. And I really wonder where his third town center is going to be. If he builds it soon, I wonder if he goes out to the left. I feel like a town center here is quality. But then again, you might want to secure the gold, so maybe a town center here. I don't know. Guys, Father Tress just dropped 10 gifted subs. And if you think that's a lot, he also donated $5,000 to the prize pool of Hidden Cup 3. Not right now. Like, this happened a week or two ago, but he has not been given enough love for that. All the thank yous and everything will come during the main event, but just so you know his name, thank you, Father, very much. It's so weird to say thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Oh boy. Oh, Dogao wants to fight before the upgrades. The upgrades are on the way in. It's so important for K4SVA to take a good fight here. Crossbow and Bodkin is on the way. It doesn't seem like it was the worst fight ever, and this is also a nice position to sit in. Obviously, the units will get stronger, and is K4SVA still alive? K4SVA is still alive. He's still in this game. Will he go for camels? Will he go for cav archers? Will he go for a monastery? All right, so we have Crossbow Bodkin. We have a monastery, and now Dogao's out of the siege workshop. Man, it's amazing how clean these guys are playing. I don't love the fact that his gold is all rangeable, though. I really don't like that. This town center, he built here because this was too risky. We'll see what type of damage K4SVA can do. And also, his economy will be behind, so he needs a town center. This is all because of the tower. If he didn't build that tower, he would already have that second town center. It seems crazy to say, but it is the case. He has a spearman on the right scouting if Dogao expands, and he has archers on the left. Now, Dogao is looking for those units, and you can actually see the deer move in your fog of war. Oh, he didn't see that. He just is... It's game sense. He knows the units might be over here. So he doesn't see them on the front. And will he find them? Yes. Can he take that fight? No. Not without the Maganel. Actually, you know what? It's Indian camels. With a few more camels, you can consider taking that fight. So excellent game sense, Dogao. Oh, and Kasva! Okay, beautiful micro. Snipes the Vil, backs up. Now has his own camels! And the camels are there to take out the Maganel. Dude, Kasva's been playing out of his mind the last few moments. I don't know if the camels are enough to take that out, though. It is enough to free his crossbows, so we can get out of here. So that's good. 60 villagers for Dogao, though. And beautiful play from Dogao has to be said to repair. Guys, this is the one thing you have to think about, though. What unit is the best unit for Indians? No, it's not the elephant archer. It's the camel. So if you are going into anything else, it has to work. It has to work well. And the fact that he is almost 20 villagers behind now, it's something we saw in Game 1. It's something we saw in Game 2. It's not a great sign. He's still one town center. This is really... He's really late with TCs. So yes, he has units. And yes, he's looking to punish. He still could, possibly. I think the center would be key. He has to do more. He has to do way more. And I think gold is going to be the key. If he can keep Dogao off of this gold, it can be very nice for him. And he's also looping around with these units. So I like the mobility of Kasva's play. Yeah, I also like how he's added in his own camels. I like how he's added in the monks to get conversions. Whoa, he gets 2 conversions there. Wow. Well, Dogao at least takes the monks out of the picture, which is nice. Nice micro Kasva. He takes out the mango, and he can still take these fights, I think. 83 population against 86. I love this map, though. I love this map. Again, mirror matchup on most other maps. Going to be quite stale. Going to be quite boring at times. Here, it's not the case. And Dogao doesn't have the gold to produce another Maganel. That villager goes down. There could be a surround, though. There could be a surround. This could be dangerous, Kasva. You have to get out of here. You have to take good engagements. Keep the camels in front. This is excellent pressure. Yeah, you need... It's so tough, but I feel like you need more camels on the front. He's not producing any more crossbows. 77 villagers to 57. The score is just flip-floppity-flopping all around right now. Dogao, one thing's for sure, though. His boom is better. Oh, Kasva, tell me you'll see that TC. Okay, he sees the town center foundation. How huge would it be if he stops Dogao from expanding? Kasva, notice it. Kasva, notice it. It's on the minimap. You have 20 other things to focus on. Notice it. If he notices that, that's his way back into the game. He could stop the expansion. He doesn't notice it. Oh, and Dogao doesn't notice this! Oh my god! Wait, okay, Dogao reacts immediately. So this is the difference between the two players. Dogao immediately noticed that town center. How sick is that? Immediately noticed the town center. Kasva didn't notice. So yes, this fight is good for Kasva, but he's falling further behind in economy. Kasva does wall in his villagers. So the town center will go up. But imagine, just imagine, if he would have denied that. That was such a sick reaction time from Dogao, though. My god. And it seems like he wants to commit to 5 town centers now. He wants another one out here. And he's just waiting for the stone at the moment. Guys, Dogao... Oh, okay, he's castling the gold. I was just going to say that he's not securing gold. He will do so. Dogao seems to be playing the map correctly. There's a lot of ways to play it, but He's realized his weakness in the center for gold. He's realized his weaknesses on the flanks. Now, he might be spread a little bit too thin. Because now he doesn't know... no, he's not spread too thin. He has the gold. This town center, he's just been waiting for the wood and the stone to build. What does K4SVA do now? You're 25 villagers behind. I think a way you come back on this map is with a castle in the center, a faster Imperial, and then faster to heavy camel, faster to trebs. It's tough, though, when the eco difference is this huge. But it is doable because Dogao will be on 5 TCs. And so, if he's producing out of all of them, he's putting more food income into the villager production, and then he won't save as much. Oh, but he's actually making a switch to cav archers. Interesting. Dogao's eco balance is just perfection. 900 food, 800 gold. After everything that's happened here, and how crazy this map can be, he still has such a perfect eco balance. It's ridiculous. K4SVA realizes that something's up on this side. He wants to build an outpost, so he can see, but that villager has acted as your outpost there, K4SVA. Honestly, the camels can take out that TC. Indian camels can take out the TC. I don't know if it's worth it, but you could. Oh boy, and K4SVA is just producing an awful lot now, guys. He's trying to catch up in the camel numbers, trying to catch up with the upgrades. So now his win condition is very different since Dogao is on the way to Imp. Instead of pushing with a faster Imperial, it's about pushing with military in Castle Age before Dogao is in the Imperial Age. Is it doable? I think it's doable. I think this could be a good fight. And if Dogao is switching to cav archers and he loses all of his camels, it's not a great situation for him. Oh, the skirms! Oh my god, I can't even click them! They're all trapped! Oh, but the castle fire, I guess. I feel like I would have stayed in there myself. I think I would have... don't use that in a sexual... That's not a sexual reference. But, I really feel like I would have stayed there and cleaned up the skirms. But it's not a huge deal. It's not as big a priority. Because you're going for camels anyway, so it's probably better to keep your camel numbers alive. Another castle from Dogao. This is a doubt castle! This is a doubt castle! What is happening? K4SVA is stonewalling in this gold. And he's on his way to the Imperial Age, guys. It is 140 population for K4SVA, 147. Every single time, there's been a moment where K4SVA has needed to do something, he has done it. There was a moment in Castle Age where he needed to push with his crossbows. Early Castle Age. He did it. He did some damage. Here, he needed to push. He's done it. Not a great situation because you are running into castle fire, but he's done it. Was it a mistake for Dogao to transition into cav archers here? It looks like he wants cav archer help. Or is that the play? Is that the play? I see Dogao looking to snag this relic. There's a lot to look at right now. I don't know if that's his first or his second or what. Remember, Dogao and K4SVA have the opposite sides of the map secured with town centers. I think you've got to go full camel if you're in K4SVA's position. Camel and probably skirm. I think camel skirm because skirms are going to be needed for the cav archers and it also helps out against the halberdiers. Dogao has kind of weathered the storm now. He has 138 villagers. It is 105 for K4SVA. And this will be the first castle for K4SVA, and it's to protect some of his map. He's still at 70% of the way to the Imperial Age. He has a lot of weak camels in here, which does worry me. And Dogao is pushing big time at the moment. What? How did that monk survive? The RNG gods are with Dogao. As I say that, K4SVA got some conversions, and K4SVA is pushing back the cav archers. I don't like the cav archers at this point of the game. I really don't. I feel like it's not the wisest decision to switch out of camels. But if you have the halbs to counter your opponent's camels, who knows? So I immediately see skirms on the way for K4SVA. Good move. People are saying the stream is lagging. The stream is lagging right now. Guys, can you hear me? I'm dropping frames at the moment. Let me see if I can switch something. I'm gonna lower the bitrate drastically for just like 2 minutes. I thought you were saying F for Dogao or F for K4SVA. Alright, we'll see if it stabilizes. But guys, K4SVA, he's still denying this castle. I don't know what to do because my internet's all over the place. But you can hear me. Okay, I'm sorry about the dropped frames. This is very rare for me. But K4SVA is still kind of in this game. What worries me though is his camels have frozen, and I don't know what he's doing with them at the moment. It also worries me that Dogao has the trebs already on that castle, and if Dogao clears that up, there's so much extra gold for him. The Cav Archers, they're not heavy Cav Archers. They have full upgrades otherwise. The Pikemen, not so much. So Dogao needs to be very careful, but they're Halbs now. Maybe it was the play for Dogao. I wonder if there's anything that I can do to solve this problem for you. I don't think there's anything I can do right now except maybe like come back online later. It's really weird. I'm not going to go offline right now because it seems to be jumping all over the place for you guys. But anyways, that castle goes down. Sorry. I did thank my ISP earlier, and now my ISP is screwing me over, of course. Weird. I'm going to close out a few programs. I just don't think that's it. It's just sometimes it happens. But Dogao is everywhere. 180 population. He does have 148 villagers still. Also, there were 2 relics in that monastery, which he can take for himself. He's looking at 2 relics in his monastery already. It was well fought from K4SVA, but it's still... I just don't... Whoa, he's Imp Camel? How did he afford Imp Camel? Can he afford to make more of them? I can respect the fact that he committed, and he went all in with it. But it's actually cheaper to make help Cav Archer, especially when you have the relics, especially when you have the golds, and you have all this control. Another castle for Dogao, which I love. So, on my end, I'm dropping 10% of frames. I lowered the bitrate. Normally I stream at 8K bitrate. I lowered it to 4K. So it's better now, people are saying. There might not be a huge difference in overall quality anyhow, but... Okay. I'll have to make a decision between games. Because at the moment, I'm not going to change it now and you guys can still see it, but if it continues to drop frames like this, I might need to switch Twitch servers or something. Or it can just be a T90 podcast for you guys. Can K4SVA get enough camels out? Remember, camel skirm. Camel skirm. The skirms are helpful against the CA and also the Halbs. Is it enough? Oh man, guys, Dogao will start to raid. Like, K4SVA's just defending in one spot, but Dogao will start to raid the flanks. Yeah, he'll make stables on the left as well so he can push. So it's more about holding the center than anything for Dogao. Just hold the center and raid the sides, and then K4SVA gets weaker and weaker and weaker because of it. The K4SVA's vill count is actually quite good now. It's 138, but are they on the right resources? I don't think so. And the micro from Dogao is so good. I say that as he doesn't back up. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. And so, you have 140 villagers, K4SVA, but so many of them are going to be idle for you. This is certainly not a play that he is going to be able to commit to as he runs underneath the castle fire. Dogao is getting... Is that going to be 5 relics? Did he get more? That'll be 4 relics for him. Oh yeah, the 5th one's down here. Yeah, no worries, G-Monkey. Thanks. I guess, I don't know if you guys know Comcast, but I used to have Comcast when I first started streaming. Dogao wants to finish the game with this castle. He does fail with the quick wall. And anyways, Comcast was an absolute nightmare of an internet provider. And so I had times where I would go offline all the time during streams, so I'm kind of... I've been there, I guess, so I'm not quite as stressed, but... Still, it's got to be addressed. Dogao really needs to address the skirms in the center. Heavy Cav Archer now, but he really needs to get his Hussars here, I believe. He bails on that castle idea. It's really hard to finish off games in an Indian war. Villagers are so cheap, it's so easy to reboom. But I think the lack of gold for K4SVA is the thing. He's built a tower here to hit Dogao's gold. But Dogao has gold everywhere. K4SVA does not. K4SVA also does not see that relic. Now he's about to with the outpost. I have to say though, K4SVA is playing insanely well. Do you guys agree? He might not win this game, and he might not win this best of 7, but it's not like this guy is playing bad and getting outclassed every step of the way. Like, these have been well-fought games. I think he'll be able to hold his head up high, regardless of how this set goes today. Reality is, does one relic change your situation much? Not really. You need the center control. You need the side control. You need to have one or the other, and it's actually neither for K4SVA. He does have some town centers in the positions he would need them, but I think this is where we'll see the light cav arrive to the center. And Dogao slowly but surely is pushing this victory home. 73 military versus just 20. It's just better military. And I think K4SVA will tap out here. Hopefully not before my internet does. Sick play. Sick game. In hindsight, you normally talk about a few moments, and I think the moment was probably in Castle Age for K4SVA. Early Castle Age, Dogao had a 20-ville lead. So maybe if K4SVA built the ranges a bit later, right? Maybe he built the archer ranges a bit too early. Maybe he makes a few more farms, has more food, has a better castle time. Well, that's really weird. I immediately stopped dropping frames right when that game ended. Wait, no I didn't. I lied. No, I didn't. I'm dropping frames again. But 291 kills for Dogao. It was the economy in the end. All right. More food, more wood, more stone, and more gold collected in this game for Dogao. What a series this has been, though. 3-1 for Dogao. He needs one more win. If he gets that win, he will move on to the main event of Hidden Cup 3. So I assume this is going to be restructured for YouTube. That's going to be an editing headache later on. Because now we have to clip some stuff together. But it's fine. It's fine. We're a professional channel, and Hidden Cup 3 is a professional show. And to all you people who are subscribing, by the way, and gifting subs, for every subscription this channel has, at the end of the day, on March 22nd, which is the final day of Hidden Cup, $1 will go into the Hidden Cup 3 prize pool. So thank you guys for not only supporting me, but also supporting the prize pool for this tournament. Now this map is El Dorado. Probably the best civ, or one of the best civilizations for this, is Chinese. And I talked about this all the way back in Game 1. K4SVA chose this map as one of his home maps, but yet he chose Chinese for Arabia. And now we're at the point where he needs to play El Dorado, and I feel like he's at an immediate disadvantage because Chinese start with extra villagers, and so Dogao will maintain that vill lead. So I don't think the planning... This is probably lack of experience from K4SVA. I don't think the pre-planning was really there for him. I don't think he thought that through, but I know he loves Magyars. He uses Magyars a lot. It's interesting that K4SVA tends to be choosing civilizations I see him play rated games with all the time. I guess that makes sense. So, we'll see what he will go for. Now, what we've done with the Hidden Cup 3 El Dorado, you have 2 fish, except the Marlin have 525 food. So we've edited the amount of food the Marlin have, because originally we were going to do 3 Marlins, but it kept giving us map issues. So props to the map team for figuring out a way to get the same amount of food we desired. You have that food at the start. It's right underneath the TC. You have wood around. You have deer. You have 1 boar. But the most important thing would be the 2 tiles of stone and the 2 tiles of gold. And then the rest of the gold is visible in the center area. So Dogao will be able to see if K4SVA makes any move towards the middle. And same, if K4SVA wants to go aggressive, Dogao will be able to see that as well. Now, this is a water version. And so there's also fish on the outer edge. Salmon, you'll notice. Yummy, yummy salmon. Good thing our quality's good now, so we can zoom in on the salmon pixels. Look at the style. I swear, salmon have way more style than every other fish. It's beautiful. But anyway, so you have to have an interesting land focus on this map due to the fact that there's stone and gold in the center, but also the economy on the outer edge is nice. I really like the water version of El Dorado, because in the land version of El Dorado, if you fall behind with your land eco, you're just dead. Here you have options, and Hidden Cup is all about options. So yeah, you might lose a farmer or two, but if you have an extra fishing ship or 3, then you're okay. Here comes Dogao with that boar. Now, Dogao is very experienced in El Dorado. Very, very experienced. What will K4SVA take advantage of with Magyars? Like, he was late to dock, and now he's behind 4 villagers. That includes fishing ships. Chris says, where's the transport ship? Sorry, Chris, we're not casting Slam. I really want to ask Slam about co-casting the main event. Do you guys think that would be good? Slam he's a great guy. He co-casted Hidden Cup 2. He played in the qualifier. Would you guys be down with that? Okay, so I'm going to ask him. I don't know if he'll be up for it. But if he is up for it, would it be too mean if we cast El Dorado together to say, why isn't someone making a transport ship? Because he made a transport ship, which I think was a misclick. He also made a fish trap. Anyways, Dogao? He knows he should have an eco lead, and he wants to be in the main event of Hidden Cup. He was favored to do it. He's looked very good today. He's walling nice and early. I wonder if that walling is visible to K4SVA. Now, K4SVA can't see any of that. It's close, though. Is this just fast castle from Dogao? He's fish booming. He's not on his way to feudal, and K4SVA is on the way to feudal. So, what will K4SVA's decision making be? It looks like he wants to go scouts. I feel like if he goes scouts, it's very possible that Dogao will just be fully walled. Though there is a gap here. Has Dogao scouted that? Dogao has scouted that. But again, he just plays so safe. You should with Chinese. This isn't necessarily a fast castle, but my goodness is his eco going to be in a strong position. Also, it's good timing on the walls, because soon K4SVA will be in feudal, and he'll get the extra attack on that scout. But I don't think that K4SVA can take an engagement yet against single villagers. So that villager walls up, and then he'll go to work with the rest of the vills, and there's really nothing that K4SVA can do. Oh, you know what? Oh no, he can't even tree hop. Dogao palisade behind the tree, too. Alright, here we go. K4SVA could get a vill snipe. If you're going to be later to the feudal age, Dogao, you will pay a price. Dogao gets the hill, and K4SVA gets the hill, and K4SVA loses a scout, snipes the villager. So I guess that's something. Wonder if it will be water play for Dogao. I feel like there will be another dock. He might dock block here. What's this? Dock. Made the barracks, I believe, for spears. Ah, and he's making a stable as well. Interesting. Okay, so he will make some scouts. Now, K4SVA is going to the center. Is this the Tower of the Walls, or is this the Tower of the Gold? He doesn't know where the gold is for Dogao. That's the problem with losing your scout. I think he wants in. And you know what? He's lucky. That tower is perfect. For not scouting the gold, that tower is as good as it gets. I wish I could get that lucky. Dogao immediately counter towers, but it will delay the gold income for Dogao. Okay. Now only 5 villagers can fit in each tower, right? So you'll see the garrison. I doubt villagers will die, but maybe, just maybe, with this tower here. Oh! Whoa! Hello! Garrison, K4SVA? K4SVA's extremely good with towers. And he must have watched my cast of him too, because when I played him last time, he said, "Are you expecting me to tower 11?" Which he never would have said to me before. But as I say that, you know, it's actually quite bad because he has weak villagers here. He needs to be careful. Okay, and now he's going to build a mining camp in the center. A mining camp of options. You can do whatever you want with that, but he needs stone. He needs to take stone because he needs another tower. So he has the extra attack from Magyars. He did engage underneath the tower against Dogao. I'd like to see K4SVA go for some value plays. So what I mean by that is keeping this army alive. A few hits every now and then, annoy Dogao, distract Dogao, and hold control in the center. What's really good for K4SVA is that he is doing that. He's also fishing. Some players won't fish in this situation. But he will need a fire galley to defend. So actually, he was adding a fishing ship, bailed on it. I think Dogao was a bit quicker to get a fire galley over. Might take out one fishing ship. That could hurt. 36 villagers to 32. That includes the fishing ships. But when I saw Dogao play this before, he had a lot more on fish. He knew he needed to fight on lands against K4SVA, so didn't commit to it as heavily. But there's another dock. Could easily see a villager die here. There we go. Magyar attack. Will Dogao try and save the Vill? Nope. She's dead. Good value. Again, good value. This is exactly what you would want from scouts. Just buying yourself time. And no way. No way! Are you kidding me? How did Dogao have the micro to get the first hit here? His fire's on 1 HP? That's huge. He was waiting for the defensive fire galley and he must have clicked it first. That's unreal. And also K4SVA just lost some scouts here. That's huge. Forces more and more idle time. And was K4SVA on gold? K4SVA was on gold. Okay, so K4SVA will deal with this, no problem. But maybe Dogao will send more on water now. It's really hard to say. Another tower from K4SVA. But another defensive tower from Dogao. Now remember, Dogao only has this gold, and he only has this stone. So he will need control of the center eventually. Oh, and he thinks now is the time. There's weak villagers from earlier. And K4SVA loses one. K4SVA loses one. And this is going to be awkward now, because the scouts are mainly there to distract the tower fire. Everything can die to the enemy's tower. Still keeping an eye on those resources. Dogao has slightly more food, and he's adding more fishing ships and fire galleys. Okay, so K4SVA, if you do this, you need to take care of the spear immediately. If you don't, yep, that's what happens. What an interesting game. Oh, K4SVA, is he out of stone? He's actually out of stone. He can't repair anymore. Oh, this could be really bad for K4SVA. I think Dogao is going to delete this palisade wall. Run in with these vills. Actually, Dogao could just be running to the center right now. He must realize K4SVA does not have the stone. We do have some patrolling fire galleys here. So K4SVA can maybe do something there. Also still has his scout around. Could possibly get the kill. He does. Nice. I think the scout will do very little, but it's something. Ah, man, Dogao is on the way to Castle Age. Dogao just macros better. The difference has been purely macro in this series. Dogao just finds a way to get to the next stage faster. And he's already on his way. And he's saving a stone too, which could be for a castle. Crazy. I think I'll have to speak to K4SVA. However this best of 7 ends, I'll have to speak to him. But I'm fairly certain K4SVA will be very happy with his performance here. I think he gained a lot of respect. He played well. Like right now, he is still in this game if he takes these fishing ships out, which he's working on. He still really needs to click up to the next stage, and I don't think he has an answer to a castle. The good thing is, if Dogao does build a castle, it's probably here. And so maybe K4SVA can take these golds and stones later on, but with the castle means Chukunu. With Chukunu is... like, that means the knights from Magyars won't have as much success. I also see this patrolling scout for Dogao. I think he's looking for a redock in K4SVA. And he did that, right? So he knows how important that is. Dogao defending here. Dogao defending here. Dogao defending here as well with the repair. Dogao is just playing near perfect in defense. He has this entire series. He's in Castle Age now. This would be the win that would send Dogao into the main event of Hidden Cup 3 in 3.5 weeks. Actually, for him, he'd be playing in a few days. We have gates now from K4SVA. So he's gating in his villagers. Maybe expecting the wrong thing here. I think he was probably expecting knights? Scouts? He was not expecting archers, and I don't think he was expecting a castle drop. I think Dogao will plop the castle right next to the vills. And also, if Dogao just patrols on this side, then the villagers can't escape. And there's a hole! No! Well, he might just lose one vill. He might lose none, I'm not sure. But here's the castle. Dogao can be as bold with this as he likes. And he's going to castle there? Okay. This will be a bit awkward, but I think it's worth it. Because you'll lose a vill to the scouts. Most likely, anyways. The one scout's not fighting. Will he even lose a villager? Dogao, you're sick. He doesn't even lose a vill. K4SVA's now towering. Dogao will just place the castle further away. And 72 population for Dogao. 45 for K4SVA. That's the perfect castle. This would have been fine. But this will take K4SVA off of all the potential golds. K4SVA does have his gold here. He didn't take any of it, but Dogao now will be pushing on water and clearing out fish. And guys, the population difference is just extreme. 61 eco for Dogao. Look at the fishing. Look at the fishing. As K4SVA taps out, there's fishing ships everywhere. Dogao took advantage of the water. He then took advantage of the middle at the proper time. Please salute K4SVA for his performance today. The Gold Rush game was incredible. His win was incredible. And most people expected 4-0 or 4-1 for Dogao because he's just that damn good. There's a few players that will be casting. We have, like, I'll talk about it more in a moment, but you have players like Velez, you have players like Nikov, players like Dogao, players like Fire that are just expected to get in because they've been household names for a long time. I think K4SVA can hold his head up high. He did his fans proud, and he did himself proud with his performance. But that means that Dogao will be joining Hidden Cup again. That is the last time we will see him with his name. He might be Friar Tuck. He might be Joan the Maid. He might be, I don't know, any variety of names that will be in the main event, March 19th through the 22nd. He'll be playing with hidden identities, so make sure you rewatch these games. Think about how Dogao played, and then try and guess when the main event comes our way. So at the bottom left, you can see the names that were given spots in Hidden Cup based on their reputations and skill. They were voted in by other pros. But now on the right, you should see Dogao's name here. He will be participating in the main event of Hidden Cup. Congratulations to Dogao.